So we are Woz Ed K-12. Steve's dad was an engineer, and look at what he did with that opportunity to learn. My dad was an engineer. Wait, it might skip with that piece. But what we need is for all students to have a chance to find out if they are just consumers of technology or creators of technology. And so we start in kindergarten in a way that's very gentle on the system with topics like cybersecurity, digital animation, data analysis, coding, drone piloting, robotics, and give kids a chance to experience that as part of what they're doing during their special rotation, hoping that we produce more Steves. And in making that authentic, we've had a chance to attract some really great partners who help students understand that the more that our experiences with technology become more visually immersive, like augmented reality, like virtual reality, that things like the arts and technology and the blend of that become a really powerful thing. Artists are more in demand than they've ever been. So I want to introduce a partnership that we're very excited about this year with Orange County Choppers. Jason Pohl was influenced by a teacher his junior year to not just go a certain path because he wasn't good at reading and math, but to use his art skill and his technical skill to create some of the things that Jason has created. And because he was influenced by a teacher, he is giving back and teaching and reaching out to young people through this context through Woz Ed and making other students know how they can take their talent and their skill and turn it into something as beautiful as what he's done. So I want to bring to the stage Santos Lopez, Jason Pohl, Joan Kay, and Paul Sr. from Orange County Choppers.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that's happening. So developing, whatever we do with coding, whatever we do with digital animation with these kids that are in kindergarten right now, it'll be something different when they enter the workplace. It's not about teaching them a skill that's static. It's about teaching them how to think and design like an engineer. That's the key. Because if they learn that, and they start to learn that at an early age, whatever happens in the tech economy, they're going to be ready to grab a hold of that. Not as a consumer, but as a creator. So that's the key. Right now, we have kids in K-12 who are using a tool called DesTechAZ to develop in their, we got some fans over there, to use a tool called DesTechAZ to build things in their 3D printer that code can be sent to Jason in his shop, that he can adapt it into an Autodesk product and actually machine it in his machine to create not a filament-created headlight, but a real headlight or a real piece that may become a part of one of the greatest arts in custom bike building that has ever happened in the US of A with these group. And it's so real, and they want to do that, and they learn as a result of it. And I have to tell you, Jason is the greatest guy. His life was changed by a teacher. He is giving so much back with his mentoring of these kids. But when I met Jason for the first time, he got all red-faced when I walked back into the shop, and he was building this magnificent thing in his advanced manufacturing machine, but it smelled like a distillery. I said, "What is that fluid?" He said, "Honey Jack Daniels, because nobody should drink it, but it works really well." Let me pour it into this machine. So I'm going to turn it over to Jason to talk about how important this is and how so many times we start to steer kids in the wrong way. And keep in mind, folks, as we're doing augmented reality, we're doing virtual reality, we are doing things where you find yourself in experiences that are so visually engaging. We need artists more than we've ever needed them. Jason Pohl.
All right. Well, first of all, it's great to be here. Quick little background about me. I've been with Paul at Orange County Choppers the last 16 years, and most of those years were us being, filmed for the hit TV show American Chopper. And one thing about learning the tech and the industry and designing is you have to be able to do it under pressure, because that entire film crew wants you completely to jack up. They want that drama. So it's you just get thrown right into it. And there's something about knowing every Monday night in 164 countries, you're penetrating these people's homes and they're watching you do what we love. And so we've had a great opportunity to work with some amazing companies and some really interesting individuals. And this is a quick demo reel of the concept models that I created before we actually built them in the shop. So growing up back home in Mendota, Illinois, there wasn't a whole lot of choices getting into high school. And, entering the workforce, I wasn't really sure how I could use my artistic skills and land a job, It's something that, everyone's awkward when you're in high school and you have to kind of figure it out. My parents and my sisters, they were always like, you could do anything, Jay. You can do it. But it took someone else to kind of influence me and motivate me. And that was my high school art teacher, Mrs. Kathy Connor. And she taught me that art is everywhere. It's in everything that we do, from the buildings to the furniture to the apparel, the cars, transportation design. And she said, "Jason, with enough creative juices and ambition, you could do anything." So I was like, yeah. And I don't know why I listened to her. I think I listened to her because she rode a late 90s Harley Davidson Road King every day to school and blew the frickin' windows off the place, And it was something about like a straight shot exhaust that got me like jacked up. I was like, yeah. And so I held on to the art thing, and I pursued it, and now I'm able to give back and mentor these kids, and I tell them all the time, they ask me like, what do I do? How do I do it? And I said, you just gotta fucking want it, and you just gotta take it, and no one's gonna hand you anything, and that's it, So I tell them to just go for it, and believe in yourself, use the technology today. It's at your fingertips, like Steve says. Learn something new every day and just make yourself better and put yourself in an uncomfortable situation and learn from it. And luckily for me, Mr. Teutul has made it very uncomfortable for the last 16 years. And the film crew, following us everywhere. But honestly, it's about the people in this room that are generous and want to give back. It's about the educators and the influencers. God bless you. It's guys like you and women like you that'll make the difference for our youth. And so I'm thrilled to be here with Woz Ed, Steve, Karen, amazing team. and I know we can do great things together and move forward. So that's all I'll say. How's that? Thanks.
You know, yesterday we had the Woz with us, and we were able to induct our first 2 pathway schools and our first 2 pathway districts into the Woz Pathway family. And these are environments that have made such a commitment to giving kids an opportunity to find out if a career in the tech environment is right for them and develop the skills that they need to make really good decisions about their career and technology education choices when they get to high school. And really, at that point, good decisions about what companies they start to court. And that whole process of bringing them into play, one of the requirements that we have to become a Woz Pathway district or school is equity. That it's not just the kids that typically would be attracted to those careers, but it's all of them. It's gender equity. It's academic equity. Regardless of your grades, you get to be part of it. And these are schools and districts that made that commitment. And 2 of the things I loved about Joan Kay to start with is, first of all, she is so active with ASPCA and so active with animal issues and such an advocate, and that's a big part of my heart. But she is also a badass CEO of a male-dominated industry. So I'm going to bring Joan up to talk about that.
Good evening. This is a hard act to follow. First of all, I look around this room and I say, look at the success, look at the achievements, look at the creativity in this room. It's overwhelming. And all of that is wonderful, and we all want to be successful, but our greatest success is going to be what we leave for the next generation. And I think it's so important that we have equal opportunity for every child from K through 12, and we provide them with the opportunities that each and every one of us, maybe we've made it for ourselves, but you know what? Our pathways have been difficult. Times have changed. Technology is awesome, but technology is also a distraction for our kids in some ways. So we need to find ways to use these tools to show our kids what the future has to offer. And our legacies for Orange County Choppers and for everybody in this room is what we leave for the next generation. And I know that everybody in this room is here for that reason, and we're honored to be here. Thank you very much.
So I want to do a shout out to Santos Lopez. He's the person that brought us together, and from the first time that we came in, we knew we could make a big difference for kids by bringing them into the fold. And Paul Sr., of course, we need you to close it out. What are your words?
Hi, I'm Paul Sr., the founder of Orange County Choppers, and it's an honor for me to be here tonight and be part of Woz Ed and to get these kids to the point that they're able to get these jobs. Thank you. They only gave me a few lines because they were afraid that I was going to say something that I shouldn't have said, and they don't have something here to beep me out, so.
And that was the truth. So we believe we've been engaged with K-12 people from all across the country this whole week with immersive experiences. We're moving into a new facility, a True North development project. They are innovators with the Roosevelt Arts and Tech District, and we are so thrilled that we're moving into a space that space that is incredible. I'm a native. One of the best things that ever happened to the Phoenix metro area is True North development, and we cannot wait to move into one of their projects. We hope we're dedicating half of our space to an immersive environment that allows people to come. People say, how do you start getting kids involved in cybersecurity in 3rd grade? How do you start coding in kindergarten? Steve asked that. So we brought some kids in that we'd never met before, brought Steve in and said, watch, and he saw that. So you do it by developing an environment where kids fail, and it's okay. And then they start to think about how could I do better the next time and the next time, because isn't that what engineers do? So we're dedicating half of our building space to giving people a chance to come in a museum environment and to experience how we do that and how we're going to make it possible to level that playing field and give kids the chance to find out if these careers are right with you with people who make it real, like Orange County Choppers. And I'm not even going to tell you the address because I think it's pretty easy to find us if we go to that slide. It's like 10 stories of Steve. It's right on the northeast corner of Roosevelt and Central. Come see us after February. We'd love to have you. Thank you.